We've got that, and we've got audio. So here we go. We'll do the countdown like we always do in 3, 2, 1.
Delicious pan pizza and delicious thin and crispy pizza. What more could a customer want?
Personal pan pizza.
What?
Did you use Best Foods mayonnaise?
The morning stream. If you have job, you wear the pants.
So true. Hey, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It's the morning stream for January 29th, 2024. I'm Scott Johnson, and Brian Ibbett is also here, of course. Hello, Brian.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Can you believe we are a mere... We have 31 days this month? Let's see.
Yes. We have 31 days in
All
January.
right. We got a couple days left, 3 days.
It's the pinky knuckle.
Oh, that's right. It is. And then...
January, February, March, April, May, June, July,
Yeah.
August, September, October, November, December.
Oh, look at that. I remember that when I was a kid and then forgot it immediately. I have no memory of that. Brian always reminds me of it.
Yes, it's so much fun when I'm in a business meeting. What do you think if we make this available on August 1st? I'm like,
I used to have to do that with something. Maybe it was just simple math back in the day.
At least it's not like, oh yeah, that makes an L. That's the left hand.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of stuff like that as kids. You always have to gotta have some reference, some physical comparison to make in your life. It's also 90 days from now we will be attending TMS Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada, you guys.
So much stuff.
Yep.
So much stuff. And it's all... So we've got it in two places. Like if you're wondering about all the events and things going on, I've got Viva TMS Vegas loaded up with all the official events and then a little accordion fold of unofficial events like people wanting to do dinners or breakfasts at places, things like that. So you can go there, or you can, if you're in the Discord, Tanner was nice enough to set up a channel in Discord that's got all that stuff as well. So whatever is most convenient for you, go there.
Yeah, we're just teeming with information about the event, and news soon on codes for saving a little money, tickets, of course. Yep, swag bags, all that stuff's getting worked on.
Yep. Exactly.
We're in full churn mode.
Gonna hit up Monique after the show today and say, "Give me my code.
Give me my code, Monique. Give it to me now.
Give me my code."
So that's all coming up. I had a weird weekend. It was a real mix. I had the babies over. We decided to watch them Saturday night, most of the afternoon and night, overnight, and then have them in the morning, breakfast, all that, and then Taylor and Dylan would come pick them up. And we did this because we just thought, hey, it'd be nice to toss Tay and Dylan a little time out. Like, hey, you guys want a day off? You want to take yourselves to dinner, hang out, have some fun, go a little kid-free for a night? Take the 4 and the 1-year-old out of your life for a minute.
Have a date night, exactly.
Sure,
yeah.
And they got to do that, and they were very happy and grateful that we did, and we were happy because we love hanging around those kids. No problem, love it.
Are you ever a little bit nervous that they just won't come back for the kids? Like they're just going to say, you know what? Let's just go.
Yeah.
We're just going to go to Mexico, play an island. Nobody can find us, and leave the kids with they'll be fine.
It would be crazily unlike them. However, if they did that, we'd make it work. We'd make it.
Of course, you'd make it.
Yeah,
work.
We'd make that work. But anyway, they were great. We were having fun. Saturday, no problems, no issues. Wonderful time. Baby's a riot. She's talking and just being a little loudmouth. And Van's super into. I'll tell you about the recommendation now. He's super into Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur from Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
That cartoon is so cool, Brian. You got to watch that shit.
What do you mean I got to watch it? I watched it with Lawrence freaking Fishburne. I got to watch that shit.
Wait, you did? What? Wait.
Yes. At D23 2 years ago.
Oh, right.
Tina and I attended a screening of the first 3 episodes with Lawrence Fishburne, and he handed us all these Devil Dinosaur plushies.
Totally forgot that you did that. That's awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. I totally spaced that. Yeah, it's it turns out that cartoon is real good, and I should have listened then. Because
it wasn't available then. We came out of that thing saying, "Oh my God, this is great. When can we watch the rest of the episodes?" And they're like, "Oh yes, a year from September."
Good
what?
Lord, that's a lot. What took them so long? What was the deal there? They just weren't done?
They just had to. They basically have to have the whole season ready before they can, air it or have enough of the season ready that they can air it. And they had only gotten the first 3 episodes done, and the third of the 3, there was still like scene missing, or we saw an animatic or something for a couple of the scenes in episode 3 that weren't ready.
Gotcha.
So,
well,
yeah.
it's awesome, and we watched a bunch of that. Had a great time. I'm actually going to keep going in the season. This is how much I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
Van was really into it. But anyway, we're having a great time, and then from 11 p.m. until 6:30 a.m., every 20 minutes, almost on the mark, the little one started throwing up and barfed all night, and had some of the most nightmare diapers I've ever seen.
Oh God!
I should have packed these diapers and sent them to like the CDC or something for study. They were so bad. Oh my gosh!
Oh jeez! And it was both ends. Like it was out of both ends.
Yeah, both ends. Now she's she's 1, so she's like all of this big. So she's not got a lot in her, but it didn't matter.
She's not producing a lot, but what she does produce is pretty damn impressive.
Very toxic, and she was just sick all night. The poor thing, and she's not really a crier. She doesn't really cry, but she gets mad. So when she would wake up every 20 minutes, then of course Kim and I would not really be asleep, but we would quote unquote wake up and then grab her, and then here's the bucket, and we're like, it's okay, and she's just like, all done, all done, all done, all done. She just kept saying all done as a way to like fight the urge or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't want to do this anymore. Done, done,
all done.
Make it stop.
All done. She'd go, Pops, Nana, all done, all done. Well, anyway, all night long, like I said, till about 6:30, which meant Kim and I slept for maybe an hour. So we were really tired and all that. But somehow, through all of this, I had the wherewithal to do a thing that I'd like to talk to everybody about.
Oh, cool.
This is an important moment in TMS history. I would like everyone to be ready for a hallowed statement of sorts.
the end of an era, so to speak.
Yeah, one that will rock your socks. Here, I'll give it a theme. I watched Parasite.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need don't just, I need a little bit of foreplay, Scott. So how did this come about? Like did you go to like all right, you're sitting there, you're sitting down on the couch, you got the remote out, you're pulling up Hulu.
Yeah.
Right?
Sort of.
How do you settle on? Okay, tell me how you get
all right, I'll tell you exactly what happened. So, about a week and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah.
We've been doing this thing on Core for our pre-show. We're like, hey, have you guys seen Beau is Afraid? And then they'll go no, and I'll say, oh, you got to watch that. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll watch it before next episode, and we'll tell you what we think. And they just kind of naturally we started doing that with each other. That's how I saw, or it's how I made them see Seven Psychopaths, which I love, and they had never seen it, so they watched that. And then what was the other one that I saw that I ended up really liking? A couple of them anyway. John's recommendations. And so we just had been having these little mini recommendations. And about a week and a half ago, one of these Core pre-shows, John goes, you know what you should see? You should see Parasite. Now, he was aware that there was like a long-standing hoo-ha on TMS about it, right?
Yeah. So,
he was aware of this.
So I can work on you for 3 years.
Exactly. Yep. And he can do it in a day.
It takes John 1 week.
Yeah. It takes him one 20-minute pre-show to convince me to see it. So
all right, I need to filter my things through now. It's not going to be, you're not going to hear from me anymore.
So here's what he said. Here's how it worked out. He goes, you should see it, and this would be funny because no one's been able to get you to see it, so it'd be funny if you saw it because of this stupid thing. And I went, you know what? That is kind of funny.
Right.
So let's do it. So I decided that would be when I would do it, and so I did it. And I liked that movie a lot. I have one problem with it.
Yeah.
I think some of the it's all subs. Nobody does any dubs for this movie. I can't find it dubbed
really?
anywhere.
Which is good because I think when we saw it in theaters it was subbed, and I can't imagine seeing it any other way really.
Yeah, and it's not how do I put this? It's not that people don't want a dubbed version. It's just literally they have not made one. There's some fan effort to make one. I did a whole deep dive on this.
That's interesting that they don't. I wonder if that's so. Is that a Bong Joon-ho decision? Like to say I don't want somebody to experience this other than the way that it was originally filmed and
I don't know.
Like it won't. People can't capture the nuance of these actors that have delivered their lines in a certain way, etc.
And I think that's probably it. I couldn't find anything to that to give me that answer, but that sounds right. And there are a bunch of really great actors in this, and they all did amazing work. So I get it.
Yeah, one rest in peace, sadly.
Yeah, that was sad. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway, he didn't die of a knife, though. Sorry, spoiler. Anyway, so I watched this, and my only complaint is subs are fine, but I felt like some stuff got lost in translation. There were just some moments, and I couldn't even point at one in particular, but there were some moments where what they were saying didn't match what I think I was seeing.
Interesting. Okay.
And I don't think it wasn't like egregious or like up and down. It was just like maybe 2 or 3 moments where I was like, no, wait a minute. She said that, but that doesn't make sense. And I don't know if those are just mistranslations or if I didn't know. Oh, chat says they have a dubbed version in their library. It's just not up right now. Is that true?
That's interesting. On Netflix, though? That's really weird because I've never seen it up on... That might be, different country or something. But,
yeah, because here I don't think they ever had it. Hulu had it forever, and now it's on Max, which is where I watched it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Huh. I thought it was going to stay on Hulu. I thought they had some deal with whoever owns Hulu.
And you didn't watch it on Plex where somebody might pick their own subtitle text file. Like you watched it on HBO or on Max. So.
Yeah, proper thing. And it's not that I think I would have gone back and forth to see how it worked, but I think I would have mostly gone subs. Because, it's a freaking Academy Award winning Best Picture. I got to experience it the way it was presented. And so I did.
The first international winner of the Best Picture category, yes.
So I really liked it. And Brian was right. It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have waited so long. I mean, that was mostly me just not getting around to a thing. And
right, exactly. You weren't actively avoiding it or anything like that. Now, here's what you don't know, Scott, is that earlier, actually last year, I started talking to KTdata about using up some of my frequent flyer miles and flying to Salt Lake City. He was going to pick me up at the airport. He was going to film this whole thing.
Yeah.
Pick me up at the airport. We were going to swing by a movie theater.
Yeah.
Get 2 tubs of popcorn.
Yeah.
And I was going to show up on your front door and we were going to watch Parasite together. I was going to coordinate. Like I hadn't gotten to this stage where I was going to coordinate. Hadn't started coordinating this with Kim or Carter or anybody.
Yeah.
But
dang it.
Yes.
So this was in active development. This little plan. It was
an active development. Yeah. KTdata and I had been talking about all right, when are you traveling? When's CES and when's this? When's that? When do you think we could do it? Can't have it too close to TMS Vegas and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, that would have been amazing. Obviously.
But yeah.
Yeah. So how recently was this? Like, were you guys talking right up to the point you found out I watched it, or when?
We were talking. The last time we talked about it was maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
That's really close.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
It's all right. It's a lesson for me to not to get off my butt on certain things that I think are going to be.
Yeah, that would have been something. But would you have to? We'd have to rent a theater, right, or something to get that done.
Rent a theater? No, we were going to watch it on your 4K TV.
Oh, I thought
I was going to show up at your house with 2 buckets of popcorn
and a film crew in the form of KTdata.
And a film crew in the form of KTdata. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
I guess 3 buckets of popcorn because he can't leave KTdata out. He's got to have a bucket of popcorn as well.
That actually would have been fun. That would have been all right.
It's all right. It's all right. Again, my me not getting off my butt, important lesson. The same thing happened with the dude who released a book about cover songs from the Cover Song blog before I got mine out. And it was like, oh my God, I already had an outline, had everything. It's like, well, I'm not going to do it now.
You could do it now, though. Now it'd be relevant again.
I could do it now. It's been enough time, actually, that there'd be new things I'd want to talk about that weren't in the original. So that's true.
Oh, I'd support that Kickstarter. Let's do it.
I could put that on the list.
Boy, Koo Cried Wolfed in the chat says, not actively avoiding the movie. It was the whole thing. No, I wasn't actively avoiding it. It was just it was a running joke.
We created a hype bubble.
Yeah.
Is what we did.
We did. We created a hype bubble. As you know, I don't love hype bubbles, but it was good to finally see it. I did want to see it. I wanted to see it before his next movie, which looks cool. Comes out this year, called I already forgot. It's got your Team Edward in it. What the hell is Boone? The guy's new movie. Hold on.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Bong
Joon-ho, by the way.
Bong Joon-ho. Yeah.
And currently in development is Mickey 17.
That's it. Mickey 17. It's back to sci-fi. It's where I like him the most. Because I will say, I think my favorite Bong Joon-ho movies are the science fiction focused ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no argument. I love Snowpiercer. I heard you talking about this on pre-show core, of course. The cat was out of the bag for me. Well, the cat was out of the bag when you said it in Discord chat. I'm
yeah.
All right, and then I tuned in for core pre-show. So it worked to finally get me to listen to a core pre-show. By the way,
that was the goal. That was our entire trick.
That was the good. See, I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
We didn't care about anything else. We just
John has been working on this for longer than I've been talking to KTdata.
Yeah.
Actually, he's like, how can we get Brian to want to listen to core pre-show?
And the thing about John is a chaos monster, and he loves this kind of crap. He loves getting me to do this as a goal of his. I don't know if you knew this, but back when we were raiding, he was on our team to roll around with us in raid.
Yeah,
he would. If you ever, I don't know if you noticed this, but when we would fight trash, he would be nowhere to be seen.
Oh, right, because he's out attracting new mobs and stuff, right? Or no, he's hiding in the He's hiding in the corpse of the last boss you killed.
Yeah, he's hiding and waiting everyone to clear trash,
right? Yes.
So he can then come participate in the actual fights that matter.
I remember this. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
He's a chaos monster. That's just exactly who he is. But anyway, yeah, I like Snowpiercer. I like Okja a lot. I like those movies. So I really want to see this new Mickey 17 thing.
Mickey 17, yeah.
And whatever, he's got some animated project in development. I have no idea what it is.
That's the other one that it's listed there. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds awesome. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about that. And the host, I love the host. Oh, his movies, his 5 movies are my jam. So that being said, if you said to me, hey Scott, what'd you like better, like Snowpiercer or Parasite? I would say Snowpiercer because it's more in my wheelhouse of interest. Of course. This was also very good. And you know what's weird is Parasite is not the perfect movie to follow up on, but it is almost the perfect juxtaposition to something like Saltburn. Very similar vibe. Not the same movie at all, but and there aren't 5 particular moments in Parasite where I was shocked out of my mind.
But there are, maybe not gross out moments, but there are a couple moments of holy shit.
Yeah. There's some basement moments, let's call it that.
Yes, exactly. Okay, good.
I don't want to give too much away, but but yeah, like Saltburn has very similar motivations for some of it as this movie. So that was a weird thing to just stumble into. I didn't expect that. But I had a great time. It was good. It deserved what it got, and I'm glad I finally got it behind me. So
good. I'm glad too. And now we need to figure out what the next thing is. Do we work on you for Squid Game now? Is that the thing that we have to?
Kind of in the mood for it, to be honest. Kind of want to see it. So maybe I will watch me some of that. I'm going to catch up on True Detective season 4 real quick, and then I'll.
Oh really? Oh, see, we're waiting. I'm waiting on that one. I with Fargo is like, no, got to watch it when it comes out. Got to watch each one when it comes out. But with True Detective, I feel like we're okay waiting. We're currently watching a. I'm probably going to use this for recommendal, so I don't want to tell too much about it. But it's a procedural drama from the UK that has a few seasons, and
that's something Kim would love. You got to tell me what that is when you recommend it.
I'll have to when it's all done. But Outer Range you need to finally watch. Jeez Louise,
yeah, that's another one. It's another one on my list. Yeah. I have a burgeoning list. I think I may actually share it so people can see how long this list is of things people have said to see.
I bet mine's longer.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. But I want to see Outer Range. I want to see that stuff's right up my alley. There's no reason for me not to see Outer Range. That's stupid not to see that because I love that kind of stuff. And I loved I finally caught up on all the seasons of True Detective, and I thought season 3 was really good.
And so, show my list and see, is my list longer than yours?
Let's see. Did you put it in that's a pretty big list.
Yeah. And that's just a series. There might be a movie or two in there, but mostly series. And
glad you have Louder Milk on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We would have watched it had it not. We needed something that I could use for recommendals, but otherwise we were talking about watching Louder Milk next.
Louder Milk's really good.
Yeah.
I love that. I hope there's a rumor that Netflix picked it up and is having it in their top 10, and it's succeeding really well. That they are going to revive it, and I would be thrilled if they revive that series. That would be wonderful.
Cool.
Give it another couple seasons or something. Skip some years. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Brian, you saw some stuff. What'd you see?
I saw some stuff. Yeah, so obviously it's Oscar time, so now Tina and I are doing the thing where we make sure to see all of the Best Picture nominees before the broadcast, and then we're also, trying to catch up on any Best Actor, Best Actress, Supportings, Screenplay, Director, things like that we can, and then shorts. So we went and saw American Fiction at the Movie Picture Show House. And this is the one with Jeffrey Wright as a writer who's struggling to get a book published until he decides that if he writes it in a more urban ghetto style, actually, going so far as to become that person, like a ex-con kind of thing, then he can maybe have some more luck with getting his book published. And this was great. This is kind of like the dark horse, right? Because Oppenheimer and Holdovers, I'm trying to think of like what, your big expected films in the Best Picture category. They're all great. They're really good. This one I feel like is this kind of quiet movie that should be creeping up on everybody's radar and being like, oh, those are all good, big flashy films, but you need to see this one.
It's like Florida Project or
right. Florida Project, a great comparison, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like this kind of unassuming, just kind of quietly slipping into the line there, but really it should be more prominent. More people need to see it. It's fantastic. American Fiction's
love
really
Jeffrey
good.
Wright so much. I hope he wins.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I mean, he's fantastic, and he's fantastic in this. We also saw Godzilla -1 Color because so many people have raved about it to me that it was like, all right, Tina, we got to see this thing, and we missed it when it was in color in theaters, so we saw the black and white version, and I gotta say, I'm not at all disappointed that we saw the black and white version. I'm wondering how. If there was anything the color version could have done that made the experience better, because I feel like it belonged in black and white. The whole thing takes place right after World War II, so it's black and white. It's black and white time period as far as those kinds of movies.
Sure.
And it was I don't know. It just felt so true to the original. It's a very human character-driven version of Godzilla, and but Godzilla's, don't make no mistake, this isn't like, oh, we're gonna learn about all these characters for 1.5 hours and then the last 15 minutes, hey, it's Godzilla. No, Godzilla is throughout. But
that's good to hear, because there are versions of Godzilla movies like Shin Godzilla, which people seem to like in 2016. I finally saw that, and Shin Godzilla was mostly people and then just a little Godzilla.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
You did like that, or didn't like that?
I did not like that. I need me some kaiju action.
You need Godzilla throughout, and you need the Toho, right? Toyo Godzilla. I think it's
Toyo. I think that's right.
Making sure, but anyway, God, yeah, so good, so well done, and we could not, like, I still wasn't 100% sure I understood the title. Like why it was Godzilla -1 until I did a little looking online, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. It's not a spoiler to say that since this does take place right after World War II, Japan's kind of at their lowest point, so they're already at zero.
Yeah.
after Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the effects of World War II, and then Godzilla just kind of said, "Oh, you're here, -1. Now you're at -1 because you thought you had it bad. Great."
That's as good a translation as I've heard of that title. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we thought it was like, oh, instead of saying humans 1, Godzilla 0, it was Godzilla -1. Like. Yeah,
it's a handicap. They applied a -1 handicap.
Right, exactly. Yes, yeah. It's over. What's the over/under on Godzilla? Oh, -1. Okay, I'll take the over. Yeah.
No, that's great. I've been dying to see it. I just haven't had a chance. I think I did lock in tickets today or yesterday for I say I think I did because I think Kim did it, but I think we got our Dune Part 2 tickets all set. So
Cool. Yeah, we got ours for. I think I texted you. I showed you a text of my ticket purchase for. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's Leap Day. We're seeing it on Leap Day.
Oh, I missed this. This is yesterday? Yeah, you did send this yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that when I'm seeing it? I think I'm seeing it the
Probably.
same night. I think.
Cool.
Yeah, we got ours at the at this new theater that everyone's raving about here. So
Good.
We'll see
Good.
how it is. Big fancy seats, $15 a ticket. You know.
Well, hopefully it's a better experience. Hopefully they have something at the beginning that says, "Hey, thanks for coming to the movies. Don't be a dick, okay? Thanks.
Yeah,
Enjoy
thanks.
your show."
Thanks. That's a good idea. There you go. So some stuff to think about as you are planning your next trip to the movie theater and/or home watching experience. All right, everybody?
Correct. Many things to enjoy there.
Let's get Dunaway in here. Let's play a little half-asses. Give some stuff away. Prizes are a foot.
That's right.
Well, we're not giving away a foot, but we're.
Oh shit. Okay.
I know.
then-
Change
so I guess
your
I'll hold on
plans,
to that
Brian.
one.
Yeah, hang on to that foot. Although refrigerate it. It'd be my.
Yeah. Don't just leave it out. There
Yeah,
you go.
don't leave that out. That music means it's time for Brian Dunaway to take the stage. Hello, Brian.
Oh, hi, Scott.
Oh, hi.
Brian.
You all right
Oh,
there? You get a little-
hi, Brian.
a little
Hi.
rest-
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was on the other line, so I just hung up. I just hung
okay.
up. There we go.
Okay.
I was trying to hang
Okay.
up.
Okay. Look.
Oh, wait. Oh, hi, Scott and Brian.
Oh, hi. Hi. That's your official greeting.
That-
Were you
Were
in
you
the middle
successful in hanging up? Like,
Yeah.
are you good? Were you all right?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
yeah. I was trying to.
mid sentence on somebody or anything?
No. Well, sort of, kind of. It was one of those conversations that kind of goes like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, I'm gonna let you go."
Was this an important work conversation, or are you talking to the loved
No,
ones?
it was just somebody asking a million questions about things that could wait or could have been an email.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
That's
you're
fine.
the guy.
It's fine.
You're the go-to guy, and everyone loves you. So.
Yeah, but I should have been gone like 7 minutes ago. This is one of those things. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's like I'm out, I'm leaving out. Nope,
Yeah.
nope, and I'm going. No,
No, I'm leaving. No, not let. Oh, now you're gone.
Sure.
Well, it's good to have you here. We are going to play the half-asses. Brian here's got the actual rules and stuff that's up on the line, all that crap. Brian, you want to explain?
Absolutely. Welcome to the Morning Half-Asses, a trivia game where I'm actually going to be giving you guys the answers. I'm going to give Scott and Brian a category and 6 possible answers. 3 of those answers are correct, and 3 of them, like John finally getting Scott to watch Parasite when I've tried for 3 years, are just wrong. But depending on how confident you feel about the category, you can provide 1, 2, or 3 guesses. But if you get any of those guesses wrong, you get 0 points for that round. Get 1, and you get a point. You get 2 right, you get 3 points, and you get all 3 correct, you get 5 points total. Player with the most points after 3 rounds wins the prize for their contestant. Let's see who you're playing with or playing for. I don't know who you're playing with, but you're playing for.
For and
Scott, you're
with.
going to be playing for Yves Marchand in Alma, Quebec,
Cool.
in Canada.
Nice.
And Brian, you're going to be playing for Jason Destefano. Sounds like the villain, the soap opera villain, Jason
where-
Destefano.
That's
in
right.
New
Where in the
Hampshire.
world? Okay, New Hampshire. There we go.
In
I
New
say,
Hampshire.
where in the world is?
Jason
Destefano.
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 Beep, bop.
That's
Just
the
like
guy.
that.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it,
That's
Brian.
how
You-
the song goes.
all
That's
the
how
ni- all the
That's how
90s kids.
Rockapella would sing it right there. Is,
all the '90s kids' ears perked up the minute you sang that song. Nicely done.
where in the world is
Carmen
Jason
Sandiego.
Destefano?
Amazing.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to your first question here. All right. Oh, this is a good one. You guys got this.
Okay.
I predict perfect scores from both of you.
Oh my lord.
TV show
God.
theme songs that are
Oh.
sung by actors from the show. Your choices
These are my favorite.
Yeah.
Happy Days, Cheers, Gilligan's Island, All in the Family, Family Guy, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Which of these theme songs are sung by the cast themselves?
And meaning it can be someone in the cast. It can be everyone. It could be a combination, right? All
Theme
that stuff.
songs performed by actors from the show. I
Got
don't
it.
know how much more clear I can make
Well,
it.
you
but-
said the
plural.
cast. The cast implies everybody
Yeah,
did.
that's true.
Yeah.
Theme songs performed by actors from the show.
All right. Well, then I know
You're
the
both
answers.
locked in. Pretty damn easy. You both got it right. All in the Family, sung by Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton.
And
Yeah.
Family Guy is kind of a take on the All in the Family, right?
It totally
At the
is.
very
It
beginning.
starts with
Yeah.
the two of them at the piano. It starts with Lois and Peter at the piano. Basically, it's a takeoff on Family Guy, and of course, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, sung by DJ Jazzy Jeff. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know that, but
I didn't know. I didn't know that. Really,
That's because Brian's kidding. He's
really?
not telling you the truth at all. It's all fake.
Exactly, all lies, all lies.
So it was DJ Jazzy Jeff and not the Fresh Prince.
No, it was the Fresh Prince who sang it.
Come on now,
Yeah.
come on, Brian.
DJ Jazzy Jeff showed up once in a while on the show, but he did not sing.
Yes, he
it.
did,
yeah.
especially the first season.
Let me tell you all a story about how Brian told the other Brian a lie.
All right, let's see how well you do with this one. We're moving from TV shows to books. And which of these books have an opening sentence that's less than 6 words long? Your choices are The Cat in the Hat, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or The Philosopher's Stone, if you're from the other side of the pond, The Stranger, Camus' The Stranger, The Invisible Man, A Tale of Two Cities, and Curious George. 3 of these have opening sentences that are less than 6 words long.
I'm picking 2 because I don't feel confident.
Yeah, I mean, it's like bait. It's like, oh yeah,
It's like bait.
It's like bait. I mean, obviously you're going to think it's going to be the kids because you want to keep it short, but then it's probably going to be like, I was, ... and then something stupid. And it's like, oh, butthole. That's the first sentence. All right, there we go.
Less than 6, not less than or equal to 6, Icor, less than 6. Why is that? Do you know all the opening sentences from these books, Icor, and you're just trying to get on that?
He might. He might.
He might, actually.
Kevin's
yes.
a smart dude. I wouldn't put it past him. All right, Dunaway, pick your damn shit.
All right, you both.
Hey,
you're both
I
locked
picked one
in.
like 5 minutes ago, Johnson.
No, it wasn't 5 minutes ago. I sat here waiting. You did. You just.
Well, the
finally
question
picked one.
didn't even start. Obviously, I'm exaggerating.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's not. A Tale of Two Cities is, if I remember correctly, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, or was that War and Peace? Is that War and Peace?
Don't remember at all.
It was one of those.
Who's War and Peace?
Yeah, Warren
Peace.
Peace, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
No, your answers are Invisible Man, The Stranger, and Curious George. 3 that you did not pick. One of you picked Invisible Man. Invisible Man begins with the line, get ready, Brian, I am an invisible man.
I knew it. That fast. That's what I figured.
I am Curious George. Actually, how does Curious George start?
Curious George
starts with a man in a
Curious
hat.
George begins with, this is George.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Well, that makes sense. Here's George. He's doing his stuff.
Yeah, by Curious George starts a completely different way. And then The Stranger begins with, Mother died today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's a terrible sentence to start. Yeah, it's a bummer right away.
Yes, exactly.
All
Exactly. Call me Ishmael. All right, let's get to question number 3. You guys still deadlocked at 5 points apiece.
Ooh.
Sure are.
Interesting.
We're coming up on Super Bowl time, or the big game, as we're only allowed to call it in advertising. Which of these teams are undefeated in the Super Bowl? And I had to double check from the time that this question was written to make sure that it's still the case. The Baltimore Ravens, the New York Jets, the Minnesota Vikings, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chicago Bears, and the New Orleans Saints. Which of these teams are undefeated in the Super Bowl?
Even when they rarely go sometimes.
That's the best kind because that means they have fewer opportunities to lose. And if they did win.
Yes.
Now,
one of these I think might be just once.
One of these things is really stupid.
But wait, they may have won it. All right. Really?
The Super Bowl Shuffle.
I feel like that one's dangerous. I know that one's not true because I watched a game where they beat the Green Bay beat them. So let's go with I'm picking 2 because I don't freaking know.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, locked
took it
in.
long enough. God.
You guys both picked the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears actually are 7-7. They are
nice.
I'm sorry, not 7-7. 1-1. Those numbers look really weird. The way it's written here. 1-1. Chicago Bears have been to the Super Bowl twice and they've lost once. And same with Pittsburgh Steelers, 6-2. But the Baltimore Ravens are 2-0. New York Jets are 1-0. They've only been once and they won. Same with the New Orleans Saints. They've only been once and they won.
Damn it.
So
Ravens, Saints, and Jets.
Go fewer times, and you have a better chance of not screwing up.
That's your benefit, exactly. All right, so that means we have to go to our tiebreaker question. And we're going
Last time it was me. I had to pick, and then I think
good.
Scott had to go high low.
That is
right?
correct.
I think that's what
Yeah. That is
Okay.
correct.
Oh, I love this. This is so good. All right. Oh, I love both of these questions. Which one do I use? We're gonna do the
Scott,
we're
go
gonna do the
higher or
second
lower?
one. Yeah, higher or lower. That'll choose which question I use. All right. Scott.
Yeah, that's me.
How many wooden blocks come in the game Jenga?
Oh,
Oh my
How
gosh.
many wooden blocks
That is a
come
good
in the
one.
game Jenga? Yeah.
60 blocks come in the game Jenga.
60 blocks is incorrect. Is the actual answer higher or lower than 60?
I'm gonna say it is 2 less. I want to say they go with a 52 like a card deck.
So lower
Oh.
then.
That's
what you're saying.
2 less would be 58.
I know. I corrected
Okay.
myself. Oh my God, you guys are so sensitive today. Who peed in your cornflakes? Cripes.
My problem is I had no
I did
cornflakes.
because we were out of milk.
Yeah.
The actual answer is lower. It's 54. You got to pick a number
Oh,
that's
so close.
divisible by 3 because every layer has three blocks in it.
Oh,
54.
Wait a minute. Is that right? 3? That is right. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
Oh.
each level has 3 turned 90 degrees.
Oh, my head it's 4, but that's not right because it wouldn't.
That would be would not balance as well.
I
if
haven't
it
played
was on 4.
Jenga in so many years. I should play it. You know what I want is one of those jumbo ones, the big heavy block ones. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
take
Oh
up
yeah,
half
they
a
have
room.
them they have them at bars where I play trivia, and it really pisses me off when we're in the middle of discussing a thing, and all of a sudden we hear screams and a crashing down of these giant 2x4 Jenga blocks.
Oh, good point. That would annoy me, especially if you're
Yeah.
trying to focus on the question.
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
Exactly. So that means congratulations going to Brian, and by proxy, Jason Destefano, that pesky villain, would have gotten away with
Up
it.
in New
wasn't one of those
Hampshire,
kids.
right?
Up in New Hampshire.
Mhm.
Congratulations, Jason Destefano. You are getting a copy of Spirit of the Island and Lords and Villains from Steam. But Yves Marchand in Quebec, you are getting a copy of A Juggler's Tale.
A game
on
I
Steam,
almost
so-
bought last night on sale because it looked so interesting.
Oh.
I was actually
The Juggler's Tale?
Yeah, I was scrolling through my
Yeah.
Steam Deck last night and I see this and I'm like, what is that? It was on sale. And it looked really good, reviewed really well. No idea how it is, but it seems like it's well received. I think this person also won today.
They might have won their yeah, exactly. It's very different from A Juggalo's Tale. I don't recommend that one.
No.
Tell the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Part
great
1,
one.
Fago. Part 2, clown makeup.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah,
That's
whoop
part
whoop
2.
is part
Yeah.
2. Well, that's great. I love when everybody wins but me. Dunaway, you did great, though. This is going to be a hell of a week for us on Play Retro. I know we'll talk about it again Wednesday, but I want to bring this up because there is now an active Unreal Tournament server running for the Play Retro community.
Yes.
That means that you can go in there and fight.
RetroGib.com.
That's right.
RetroGIB.com.
That's
All the
right.
information. Hop in there.
That's right. Get in there, and it's that game rocks. I'm going to destroy Dunaway at some point before our show.
Oh, wheels! I've been practicing a
Wow.
lot. I haven't seen you on
Wow.
the server unless you've been playing that single player bot tournament.
Look, I played. I don't think there's a game that has more hours played than that one for me. Maybe World of Warcraft's the only one that's beat it.
Oh,
I
so
played-
you're depending on the it's like riding a bike.
Muscle memory, baby. That's right.
Okay. So you have the mouse currently and keyboard that you had when you developed that muscle memory. Okay,
Always.
it's fine. It's
Always.
fine. Whatever, Scott. I'm just saying. Okay.
I got a Honeywell 3-button mouse and a clicky clacky Honeywell keyboard from
You
1999.
still got your mouse wheel with you got the mouse ball bent down there.
Yeah, I
You
got to
the
take
mouse
it out,
ball?
wash
Cool.
the cat hair out of it occasionally. It gets a little
All right,
sticky. Yeah, you know how it is. You know what's up.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
All right, he's gone now. That was great. Congratulations to our participants today. You're both winners in our book. So
Both winners and literally both won. So we got codes out to both of them. So yeah.
yeah, well done indeed.
Yeah.
Let's dive into this for a little bit. Oh, I can't use that twice today. Hold on. Let's find a better one. Time for the news, brought to you by...
That payback episode of FilmSack was pretty good. You should all sub to FilmSack and see for yourselves. Filmsack.com for all the details. And if you've only got a couple minutes, go boil an egg.
Yeah, go boil an egg. One of the best jokes in the movie we saw.
I agree.
We watched Payback and it was awesome, you guys. For real, it's fun. It's a fun movie. No, not for the kids though. I forgot to mention.
No, gosh, no, and way more fun than the original version, the original uncut, and then later released as a director's cut version. Not as fun. Not nearly as fun.
No, not as fun. Some argue better, but definitely not as fun. They just stripped the humor out of it, and it's not as good of a time.
Right.
Exactly. Let's talk about Colorado for a minute. Brian, you got another one of these problems going on here.
Colorado connection.
You have more pastors getting up to shit, I swear.
Oh, really? Well, we have a lot of mega churches here,
yeah.
which is a bummer.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a bummer when they do weird stuff. Colorado pastor accused of pocketing $1.3 million in crypto scheme money. He said, "The Lord told us to."
Sure.
The Lord said,
I guess it's okay.
Yeah. The Lord said pocket it and keep it and screw people over. That's what happened. That way we don't take responsibility. We shift it over to the Lord.
The Lord, exactly.
Anyway.
You have a problem with that? Take it up with him.
Take it up with the Lord. How do I do that? I don't know. Good luck. Colorado-based pastor for an online church accused of pocketing $1.3 million in cryptocurrency fraud schemes told followers in a video statement that the Lord told him to do it. Eli Regalado and his wife, they marketed a cryptocurrency called Index Coin to Christian communities in Denver, saying God told him people would become wealthy if they invested in his scheme. The Colorado Division of Security said in a statement, it's INDX coin or Index Coin raised nearly $3.2 million. The Securities Division said at least $1.3 million of that went directly to this couple, or was, quote, used for their own personal benefit, unquote. It said in a complaint in the Denver County District Court. The Regalados could not be reached for comment in a video statement to his followers last week. He said the charges that they pocketed $1.3 million are true. He admitted to that.
At least, God told him to tell the truth. So that's good, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's how he put it. This is the exact quote. Out of the $1.3 million, $500,000 went to the IRS, and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel the Lord told us to do.
Went to a home remodel. See, that's very different than a few $100,000. So is that of the? Oh, I see what you're saying. So of the 1.3 million that they took,
right?
They said $500,000 of it went to the IRS, and then a few $100,000. Okay,
that's what he's claiming.
Yeah.
Here's also what he's claiming. That he talked to the Lord about it. See, here's the part I love. Like, I try to imagine this conversation that I know never took place. But let's imagine just for a second. He's just like, hey, so Lord, I got all this money we did from the crypto scheme. What do you think of that? Oh, that's very good, my son. Very good. You know what I would do after you pay the IRS your required tax money? Let's put a new kitchen in. Let's do that.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, you can tell them I told you to do it. You know?
I'm sure the first thing he said is, well, taxes, right? I mean, you got to keep those in mind. So...
Always.
See. 1/3. What's your withholding, and how many dependents do you have? Oh, all right, hold on. You're going to need schedule form. You're going to need schedule form J, subsection 2.
Yep.
All right, so probably about $500,000 for taxes.
Yep. It's the Lord's.
Yeah.
It's the Lord's paperwork.
How's your man cave?
Yeah.
Do you need a new man cave?
I'd put pinball machines and old arcade machines in there if it was me. But what do I know? I'm just the Lord.
Exactly. Hey, wait a minute. I felt a little targeted with that one, Scott. Hold on a second.
I like all your shit. Hey, whoever told you to do it, I say you did the right thing.
The Lord told me to have this pinball machine.
Nicely done. Let's move on to this one. The British Zoo. I don't know if this is just called... No, I guess it's a British Zoo. Not the British Zoo. I don't think there is a the British Zoo.
There's the British Museum, but I don't think there is the British
Zoo. Lincolnshire Wildlife Park. There you go. Anyway, they have a plan to rehabilitate its potty-mouthed parrots. They're gonna get these parrots straight. Okay. Nice. Here's what they said. The British Wildlife Park has hatched a new plan to rehabilitate its potty-mouthed parrots after they unleashed a tide of expletives. Back in 2020, 5 foul-mouthed African grey parrots donated to the Lincolnshire Wildlife Park in eastern England were isolated from the flock in an attempt to improve their freaking dirty language. I added some words there.
Yeah. That's all right, though.
Yeah. But from Tuesday,
What the flock?
what the flock is going on? Caw! The team is adopting a different, riskier approach to integrating 3 newly donated cuss-happy birds named Eric, Captain, and Sheila. I want to see that movie.
the new sitcom from ABC. Welcome to TGIF. It's Eric, Captain, and Sheila.
Oh, the things those birds will say.
She's a hooker with a heart of gold. He's a captain.
And
then
Sheila,
there's
well,
Eric.
there's Eric. Show should be called Then There's Eric. That'd be
And
better.
then there's Eric, yeah.
When we came to move them, the language that came out of their carrying boxes was phenomenal. Really bad. Not normal swear words. These were proper expletives, says the park executive guy, Steve Nichols.
Yeah, and I mean, the British already say a few things that they don't consider swear words that we do. So it's got to be really bad. Like, we know what you talk about, how you talk about cigarettes and what you call people that are, maybe less than desirable. And that's a word we just don't use here for fear of getting slapped.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. The other thing is these birds are mean. They'll learn stuff and then overdo it. And if you have a bird sanctuary and people are coming through that thing and all they do is cuss at people,
Oh, yeah.
I could see there'd be a problem, especially
Yeah,
for
for
kids
sure.
and stuff. But I don't know how they don't get into it in this article. How do you rehabilitate that? How do you get the bird to stop
You've got
saying
to get
it?
them. I think you get them away from people who give them the reaction that they're looking for. Because I'm thinking that if they get, they get laughs or oh, here you go, here's some bird seed, from somebody buying it from the penny machine outside and saying, he said a bad word, let's give him some bird seed to congratulate him.
That's a good
Thank him
point.
for
They're
that.
getting positive reaction for swearing. If you flip that and only give them positive reinforcement for stuff
Yeah.
that isn't swearing, then you can
for
probably
stuff
break it.
they're exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Well, anyway, that's a fun deal going on there. Well done, Britain.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
officially weird. One final story. We got a woman in jail. She was arrested after stealing $2,500 U.S. worth of Stanley Cups. Now, I didn't know there were Stanley Cups outside of the hockey stuff. I didn't know there was such a thing. Have you drunk from a Stanley?
No, I keep seeing these things all over the place as far as like the mayhem that's going around these stupid Stanley Cups. So
People like them. So
Yeah.
I don't. Apparently, they're a hot item, and because of that, and yet another episode of people doing extreme things for Stanley tumblers. One woman allegedly attempted to steal a shopping cart full of them without paying for them. Are they like this? Hold on, where's mine?
they
I got this thing, which is a.
which is now broken.
I just dropped something. Just making sure it isn't.
Yeah, it looks like that, except it has a handle on the side. If it's the thing that I'm thinking it is, which Saturday Night Live made fun of tremendously this weekend with Dakota Johnson.
They must have. That must be it.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the handles, but anyway, this thing's a Yeti, and it keeps things cold or hot forever.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love this thing, but I guess everyone's
I've got
taking
a-
the Stanley ones to gyms and
yeah,
all that.
exactly.
So
I've got a Contigo one that is just amazing, and then I've got my Corksicle Spider-Man cup, which is I have two of these actually. One that's a water, and then one that I use for coffee, and they are fan-freaking-tastic.
yeah, I'm a fan. I get why these would get big, but why they're almost like what's the shoes everyone hates?
Oh, Crocs.
They're like Crocs, but for cups. Everyone's making fun of them. They're everywhere. They're like
Yeah, and I think it's more that people are just making fun of them because of the hubbub. They're not ugly like Crocs are. They're not as useless in multiple situations like Crocs are.
Yeah.
But more like Furbies. Like, all right, well, I can see that the Furby is interesting, but really, why such a hubbub about Furbies?
Yeah. If you want to impress me, hike Everest in a pair of Crocs. That would impress me.
Yeah, there you go. Then you can defend. Then you can say the Crocs are just fine.
Yeah, they are comfortable. I'll give them that. I've had them on my feet before, and I get the comfort angle. And I even have a pair of Croc flip flops. They don't look like Crocs, so you'd never know. They're the most comfortable flip flops I've ever owned. So there's something going on there. But if you're
I have
wearing the
some,
regular ones, they're pretty ugly. Yeah.
I have some Birkenstock flip-flops that somebody recommended when I was having plantar fasciitis issues, and they were fantastic for that. I don't still wear them, but at the time, man, they They were great.
Bring them to Vegas. Wear them on like the
Nope, not a
oversky
chance.
thing. No, you're gonna wear those? Not
Nope.
the
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Not wearing them. Not
All
bringing
right.
them.
You guys, I'm just saying you could do a little campaign, a little pressure campaign, and
No, because they are purely for around the house. I wear them maybe to go out and get the mail, and that is as far as they get from my front door, and as far as they will ever get.
Probably the smart thing to do. All right, we're going to take a break from the news and dive directly into a song break, after which Bobby will be here. We got some science coming up, so stick around. Until then, music, Brian, music.
Yeah. So we, this week I'm going to be going to Casa Bonita, which was famously taken over by the South Park guys. But what we don't talk about very much is North Park. And a few guys from Toronto who formed a band called North Park. That was a long way to go while I searched for the information about the band. These guys are pop punks. They have a brand new single. It's called Ink. If you're a fan of Blink 182, Sum 41, stuff like that, I think you're really going to like this. From Ontario, here are North Park and Ink.
Skin Bracer, now in spice too. Takes care of men who take care of their skin. Skin Bracer Aftershave.
How loyal are people to the brands they choose?
And we're back. Tell me about that again.
Yeah, those are Toronto pop punks, North Park. And thanks to Wiretap Records for sending this one over. Their brand new song, Ink. Go check them out, North Park.
Nice. Quick shout out to somebody. We got a dude in our chat, or in our tadpole, our extended community, named John R., who that's what the name he goes by, who's been putting little mashed up versions of moments on TMS together in a vertical format, so I can put them on TikTok and YouTube.
He's responsible for those? Fantastic. I love those.
Yeah, they've been really great, and keep up the rad work. They're awesome. So just want to give him a shout out. All right, it is Bobby time. Bobby, come in here, Bobby. Let's see if we can get him to find his way in. Here we go. We're going to pull him in, play a little intro, and we're off to the races with that. Let's see if I can find his intro, and also if we can find him. He is currently ringing. That means nothing until he picks up. Let's see. Bobby, are you there? You go run, take a poop? Are you otherwise indisposed? Is he on his way? He is on his way, and here's his thing.
There's still something wrong, isn't there, Bill?
That's Bill's.
Science!
Bob is hungry. And the soup looks good.
That's right. Bob is hungry, and his soup looks good, and he's here again to talk about science. Bobby, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for welcoming me properly after... It's been a while since you called me Bill.
I know. It has been a while.
But you did, I guess you didn't directly call me Bill. You called me Bill with your soundboard.
That's right. I didn't use your name, but the soundboard had its own ideas. And then tomorrow, I will refer to Bill as Bob, and then everyone wins. So look forward to that. It's a big week for the B names. That's a good point. Nobody wins. It's good to have you here, dude. And we're going to talk about some science. Now, you and I have been a little bit back and forth on sometimes topics like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about talking about, or once in a while I'll pipe in with you and say, hey, there's this thing. But we've been talking about calendars and time and stuff. I think it came up here for the first time, right? The whole why don't we do the 4 or no, what was it 3 week calendar?
13 months a year.
Yeah,
that's right.
With 28 days in each month, and how then it would make all the days of the month line up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you are somebody who hears something like that and goes, well, why is that? And then you go do a bunch of dirty work, and then you come on here and correct us on all our bad assumptions. And I think that's great. So let's do that. Why? First of all, why is it wrong? I assume it's wrong because we're not doing it. If it was right, somebody would somewhere be doing this, right?
Well, I wouldn't always assume that. Because with something as big as the calendar, you guys talked about it a little bit, and Brian, I think you mentioned last week while you guys were talking about it that if you were to make a change to the calendar, that'd be a pretty big change.
It'd be huge, yeah.
And it would be pretty difficult to implement a change like that.
You're trying to roll a boulder, stop a boulder that's rolling downhill almost unstoppably, right?
Right, exactly. You'd have to get everybody, especially with a global economy, you'd have to get everybody to kind of agree, or you'd have to have some massive system in place to account for everybody using or at least 2 different calendars if you had some people adopt it and some people didn't. So changing the calendar is not an insignificant thing. So if you find some better way to do it, then I wouldn't assume that just because this is the way we're doing it is the best way because of that. Because there are certainly maybe better ways to do something, and it just is too difficult to implement, right?
Right.
In fact, the calendar has only been changed a couple of times. I shouldn't say that because there are probably other cultures that I'm not aware of, and we just from our Western European perspective, we know of like twice that it was changed in a big way. We used to use the Julian calendar; it switched over to the Gregorian calendar, which is what we use now.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those were big changes.
Those were big changes, and I always wonder about those changes because don't have a lot of context for what it did. A more recent example is when everybody in or kind of an example, when everybody in Sweden switched from left side to right side of the road driving.
Right.
And how that was chaos for a time.
Oh, God, that would be, yeah. Jeez, you get
that's a huge
people
thing.
turning them from intersections onto roads and like, ah!
Yeah, that's a big thing to ask,
Totally,
right?
yeah.
So I assume it's similar because it affects everybody in a big way when that stuff happens. Did you find that a lot? Like it was huge and uncomfortable, and people were killed, and I don't know what do people do when you change the whole system?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because when we switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, the reason it happened was because of the fact that so there's sort of like a history of why is the calendar the way it is, and is the day actually as long as we say it is. So there are 2 different day lengths. I don't know if you know about this. There's what's called a sidereal day and a synodal day. Have you heard of this?
I've never
before?
heard of that. Have you, Brian?
No,
Never.
So it's a sidereal day. So the way we measure the length of a day is superficially you might think that it's you look up in the sky, the sun is right there right now. How long does it take to get back to that same point?
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
That's superficially how you would think that's how long a day is. But that's not the only way to measure a day, even by looking at things in the sky. You could, why choose the sun? Why wouldn't we just choose a star in the sky to do exactly the same thing, right?
Sure.
And you might think that, of course, they're going to give you the same length of time because it's the Earth that's rotating. The Earth is rotating at the same rate no matter what object you decide to look at. But everything in space is all moving, right?
Right.
So that means our reference point, the Earth, is also moving. So if you choose an object relatively close to us, and like the sun, and in particular with the sun, something that is that we are also moving around, then you're going to get different values. And they found that so the sidereal day is when you use the star as a reference. Okay, so let's say you look at a constellation or a star, something that's really, really far away, and you say, I'm going to look at where it is right now, and then I'm going to mark the amount of time it takes for that star to get into the same point tomorrow. That takes actually like 23 and some change hours. It's like a little bit less.
Right. It's like 23 hours and 50 some minutes or something. Or
well, it's 23 hours, 23 and a quarter. No. I've got that wrong, but it's 23 hours and some change. I should have written this down. I can actually find out. Hold on. While we're talking, I'll do that. So the synodal day is different. The synodal day is when you look at the sun, right? And that averages out to be about 24 hours, even though it's actually different every day. And the reason is really, really interesting. So, and this is kind of hard to visualize. So I'm going to try my best to describe it in a way it's easy to paint a mental picture in your head. But imagine you're looking at a diagram with you got the sun and then the Earth orbiting around the sun, right?
Okay, all right.
So the Earth is a circle or a globe or whatever, but for the purpose of this, think about it as a circle. And you've got the point on the circle that's the closest to the sun. It's pointing directly at the sun, right? Now, again, the synodal day being that point as the Earth rotates, it will eventually turn back around to be pointing towards the sun again, right?
Right.
But so let's imagine that you do that. Takes TikTok, 20 something hours, right, to get back to that point. But the problem is that during that time, while the Earth has rotated to point back at the sun, and it's done one full rotation, the Earth has moved forward in its orbit a little bit. So that point that was the point that was pointing directly at the sun, it's not the same. It's not pointing directly at the sun anymore because the Earth has moved forward in its orbit.
Right. It's almost like right. You're getting to it sooner because the way the Earth rotates and then revolves, it's at a point that's either sooner or later than it was because it's catching that point at a different spot.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it takes, so what you find is that in order for that same point, so for the Earth to rotate on its axis fully one time takes, I looked it up real fast, the sidereal period, it takes 23 hours, 56 minutes, and about 4 seconds.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, the right, which is why we have leap day and all that BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's different. I'll get there.
Oh, it is different. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
So this is just the length of a day. And so 23 hours and 56 minutes, let's say, is when it takes to get back to its point. But the extra 4 minutes is how long it takes for that point on the next day to then now be pointing back at the sun, because the Earth has moved forward in its orbit a little bit.
Right.
So it takes an extra 4 minutes so if you just take the 23 hours and the Earth has moved back around, you're like, oh, not quite pointed at the sun yet. And then it points at the sun because,
Does it ever go back the other way? In other words, I don't mean turn the other way, but I mean like you hit that point where it faces the sun, then it moves forward because the orbit moved forward. So that exact same spot's not going to be the same. Does it reset to that exact same spot at some point? Not reset, but we eventually have that happen again, and then there's another 4 minute difference. You know what I'm saying? Or is this is it the one time we faced it that one time? If you're counting time in like microns of seconds or whatever, is it the only time we'll ever have that exact moment of facing it right then? Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say?
I do know what you mean, and this might be an answer to your question, that amount of time that it takes for the Earth to then be pointing back at the sun, that gap, that space of 4 or so minutes, a little bit less than 4 minutes, it's actually not always that. That's an average, because that extra time is larger and smaller at different times of the year.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that is also very interesting, and it has to do with how close the Earth is to the sun, because the Earth's orbit is not perfectly circular, it's elliptical. And so while the Earth is closer to the sun, it's moving faster in its orbit around the sun.
Right.
So every day it's moved further forward in its orbit while the Earth is closer to the sun.
Right.
And then when the Earth is farther from the sun, it's moving a little bit slower, so it takes a little bit less time, and so that gap is a little bit shorter, and that moves just at different rates. So on average, you find that it's about 24 hours over the course of the year is how long it takes for. Seems convenient that it takes 24 hours, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does seem convenient. It does seem like we had to, cut some corners to make it work. My question is, though, is there ever...
I'm almost being sarcastic, and the reason it's so convenient is because that's how we define an hour, right?
Right.
Is the average amount of time it takes. And
it worked out okay. Yeah, it worked out okay. I guess it's all relative, though, because if we all thought an hour was 52 minutes, that would seem normal to us, because that's what we'd have, right?
Right.
So... that kind of thing is interesting to me. But but what I'm trying to say is, will there ever be a day where we suddenly go, oh shit, our averages are off. It took too long, or we've done this so long that now we've eked over into too much time or whatever. Is that where the leap year stuff comes in?
So that was all about the day, and the reason I wanted to talk about it, because it's very interesting to think about something that we think we're so familiar with, which is how long a day is, but really it's so different, and we have to adjust for it, and the length of day changes all the time and stuff like that. But that leads directly into the length of a year, and the length of a year is not exactly 365 days. and we're more familiar with this because, like you said, Brian and Scott, there's a leap year. The length of a year is actually 365 and a quarter days.
Right. Right.
So it doesn't quite the amount of time it takes the Earth to go around. And the reason is,
and it's even less than a quarter because then we have to have those non-leap years, like the millennium was, the 2000 would have been a leap year, but we have that little extra or little differential that I was like, oh no, every 4 years except for every 200 years except for every 1,000 years or something.
Yeah, it is exactly right, and that's where I was getting to go all the way back to the switchover from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar. That was done by the church because someone in the Catholic Church decided that they didn't. What they were realizing was, okay, so every year we're a quarter of a day off, so you have a leap year to account for that. But like you said, Brian, they started to realize that because they have calendars and records of the seasons, they started to realize that the certain point in a year, which is marked by seasons, like Easter comes at a certain time or something like that, right?
Right. Easter's the big one, big stupid one that is like, oh,
which is why this has to do with the Catholic Church, right?
Sorry, I got to give a quick credit to Chris in the chat who says it's probably Pope Gregory. It's probably I love
damn Gregory.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But so they realized, wait a minute, Easter's not falling on the same day of the year anymore as it used to hundreds of years ago. And they didn't like that because everything's supposed to be ordered and exactly perfect and done in a designed way, right?
Right, of course.
So they said, well, we got to fix this, and so we're gonna have to, like you said, Brian, define a leap year as every fourth year we have an extra day, except for every if you do the math, every couple hundred years. It's like out of every 400 years, on the 100th year, we will do, like every 100 years, we will skip a leap year except for the 400th year or something weird like that.
So if it's divisible by 100 but not divisible by 400.
It was something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was really weird. And so that's how the Gregorian calendar is defined. Now here's the funny thing. All the Catholic countries adopted this because the Pope said so, right? But the non-Catholic countries didn't. Countries like Great Britain, and because of that, there was a period of time. There was one year in the 1700s, I think, 1750s or something like that, where if you go back and look at the European calendar or the calendar from the United Kingdom, they finally decided to switch to the Gregorian calendar on that year. And so some month in the near the fall or at the end of the summer, there's a month that has 11 days missing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it was September. They went from like September 4th to September 15th on the calendar.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how they fixed it.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's just everyone in the country had to agree that like if your birthday was September 10th, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, we'll celebrate on the 15th. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Right.
Wow.
That's crazy. Have you ever seen pictures of the original Gregorian calendar, like drawings and stuff? Stuff's insane, dude.
Yeah.
What a mess. Who
Really?
who looks at here? I'll give you a link to this. I'm showing the chat right now. This is absolutely bananas to me that this is even decipherable. There you go. Look at that thing.
Oh, geez. It's like the Mayan thing, right? Where it's shown as a wheel like that, and
everyone's into the wheel.
Well, because it's all regular and everything, so it should be able to fit into a wheel.
That's
somehow.
true. Yeah, I mean ours should fit into a wheel as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So all of this comes back to what the question was about: could we do this with the year have 13 months, right? And the answer is basically no, because well, first of all, the easiest thing, and I think you did this on the show, Brian, was the easiest way to figure this out is multiply 13 by 28, and you get 364, not 365.
Right.
So you'd be missing a day.
Yeah.
And you can't just smear that day throughout the year, right?
Right, exactly. Now every day is 24 hours and 365th longer. Yeah.
I like that.
And exactly, because you can't just make the Earth rotate slower.
Right.
Also, you can't just decide that, okay, well, now we're just going to have 364 days in a year, because you would quickly run into the same problems that they had with the Julian calendar.
And that's what they thought that's the thing that we found. That's how they decided to do it. Like, you'd have year day. It would be called year day, and it wouldn't really be a day that's part of any month or anything like that. It's just on its own. Happy year day.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for year day?
Yeah.
And so, that would be the only way you could do it, right? So you just have to have a day that's outside of time.
Like the hidden track on a Wu-Tang Clan album or something. Yeah. It's like
no, combine it with the whole purge thing. That'd be the day everybody gets to go kill each other.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Let's do it. Purge now has its day, and you have the better calendar, and we have, now it's easy.
It's all our way of saying that Thanos was right. Thanos was right.
That's right. It's super interesting, though.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The day as we define it, 24 hours, wasn't defined as 24 hours until the Egyptians.
Oh my.
But
how were we breaking it up then?
Well, we just used sundials. We didn't. Okay. It wasn't really defined as being a number of
hours. Gotcha. Okay.
It was just at this point on the sundial, and in many ways, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because the only way that becomes a problem is when you're trying to like coordinate things, right?
Right, exactly. Because then if you can't use numbers, you can't say, oh, when it's about when the shadow is about 3:00 on the because you can't have a 3.
Right.
So it'd be all right, quarter day, half day, 3/4 day, right? Like, oh, well, I'll meet you for lunch at Sbarro at 3/4 day, and we'll have some pizza. Right. It'll be wonderful.
And then I'm sure lots of people are familiar with the fact that it was still technically kind of shadow based, like where the shadow fell on different things, even up until the Industrial Revolution. Because everything was just kind of based on where the sun was in the sky. Even the 24 hours was based on the stars. That's what the Egyptians did. They were very mathy civilization, right? So they wanted something more precise than the sun, because they figured out that was a problem.
I mean, heaven forbid you have heavy cloud cover too, because that throws everybody's schedule off.
Yeah, right. Your sundial just looks like a smear.
my clock stopped working. Pythicus, I don't know what time it is.
Chat room saying D-Day would have been a mess, and that reminds me of the other day I saw that I didn't know this until recently that they delayed it a day for bad weather. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought
so it was supposed to be June 5th. Really,
it was supposed to be, and then they had horrible weather. And so they put it off, and I don't know if that means the Germans knew about it. I mean, they were prepared, sort of. I don't know. Like, everyone thinks that D-Day was like a big surprise, and in some ways, I guess it was. But on the front of just like, well, when do we put the boats in the water and go? That got delayed because weather sucked.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
I had to look that up. Anyway.
But so Industrial Revolution with the story is about trains, right? Once trains were becoming a big deal, they needed them to be on schedule. So then that's when everyone decided, well, let's just base it on, let's just all decide our clocks are going to be set to the same time, and then you make time zones, and then everybody's fine.
But you think
there's the phrase right with that? That's something like, as long as the train or the whatever makes the trains run on time or something like that.
Something like that. It sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. So the only thing that would ever cause us to, as a people, as a human race, to reset this again or do something new, I got to think that would take something major, like a complete collapse of society and starting over. A meteor so big that wiped out the dinosaurs wipes us out, and then
that wipes out every Hallmark. Mall store with calendars.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd have to say, all right, we're going to do this at 2,500. Like 2,500 feels like a good point for us to switch to this whole thing. We're going to need all that time to prepare. A couple hundred years to do this. And
if you do the right PR campaign, then it's in everybody's head. We're always thinking about it, and as it gets closer, the generations have been preparing to be ready for it. I suppose that works. But you're never going to be like, hey, in 2031 in June, we're changing the whole effing thing. Sorry, everyone. You'll get used to it. Google will say, well, we've got the first calendar changes, so go ahead and use Google Calendar. We'll help you over the hump. Like, none of that's going to happen.
No.
We're stuck with this for a while. Thanks, Catholics. You did it.
Thanks, Catholics. The reason that
Thanks,
this
Pope
is
Gregory.
the reason that this is even an issue to begin with is because, like the Earth and the Sun, we think about them as being in sync, but the rotation of the Earth has nothing to do necessarily with how quickly it rotates. Has nothing to do with how quickly it orbits the Sun. But we link them together in the way we define time, and everything since then has been about trying to reconcile those differences and reconcile the fact that the Earth's spin is slowing down. And all of that stuff, right? Like everything's, it's always changing, but then that at the same time with like how precise time keeping needs to be for things like science and computing and everything. So then this way that we have of defining time is so out of sync with what actually define, like how time impacts our day, how the day passing is actually done and what that does to impact. If we lived underground and we never saw the sun, this in many ways might be easier,
Yeah.
So, but because we link time with the passage of the sun and the seasons, then we have to figure out how to reconcile the fact that it's not so precise and doesn't sync up perfectly.
So that slowdown, we're talking cosmic timeline though, right? Like the slowing down to the Earth. Nobody should be at home right now going, "Oh shit, it's slowing down."
No. Not in our lifetimes, but like we're talking like in the age of the dinosaurs, the day was longer.
Sure.
So.
And a million years from now, maybe.
Or maybe it was shorter. The day was shorter, yeah, because it was spinning faster.
Right. So 3 million years from now, it'll be a little shorter. But even then, we're talking tiny bits. We're not talking like a day, right? Or like 24 hours, or even maybe not even an hour. We're probably talking. It's like climate change. It's like. Yeah. People who don't bother to study it, they hear somebody go, "Oh my gosh, you guys, it's bad. We're up a half a degree this year Celsius over last year." That sounds like nothing to people. They're like, "What are you kidding me? My temperature just went down a degree. What's going on?" They don't understand because
be real, then it's not real.
Yeah, they're not digging in. But if they did, they'd understand that is on a cosmic scale. It's so big. It's huge on a cosmic scale. Whereas also this time, the slowdown thing is just, we all want to see it. We have such a limited time on this planet. We all want to see everything in neat little chunks. Kind of like Pope Gregory did. He liked it simple,
Yeah.
And it ain't so simple. Because you want to see, you think we're orbiting around the sun. You should see what the sun's orbiting around. Holy shit.
Right, exactly. That's what messes up time travel so much is that, you saying, all right, I'm going to go to this exact spot 1 year from now. No, the Earth is not going to be in the same place because the whole spiral arm is moving and da-da-da. Like you've got the sun moving at the spiral arm, blah, blah, blah. It's you're going to end up in space floating around, but hey, good job on your time travel.
Yeah, well done. That whole aspect.
Maybe that's why we haven't been visited by time travelers.
That's why we've got a pile of time travelers all floating in space behind us.
Yeah. Most of our space debris is bones and
exactly
weird contraptions.
There's whole calculations that people aren't doing for their time travel, and they really need to start figuring it out.
Yeah. The one thing that always did strike me as possible, it would be things like teleportation, because if you knew the exact spot where something was at the moment you're doing it, that makes sense, right? I'm going to put you on Earth at this time, next to this building, on this ground, and not embed you into the wall or whatever. It's because we know all those factors, and that's included in the technology. But when it comes to time travel, all that shit has moved.
Yeah, everything's moved. And I think Star Trek had it right. We're going to upload you to the cloud, and then on the spaceship you're trying to get to, we're going to download you from the cloud and reconstruct you right here.
That makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, we solved time travel, and we now have a better understanding of calendars. And
so now go make it.
And as the chat calls him, Pope Greg and his bad decisions. Well, there you go.
It all comes back to Pope Greg.
Pope Greg for Walkman.
Yeah. At least he got the attic when Marcia moved out. So that was good.
That's a good point. I'd forgotten that happened, but you're right. Bobby, let's tell people where they can get more science out of you. They can squeeze it, excrete it from your body each week.
Extrude?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Where does that come from? What's the show? What do you do? When is it?
I'll tell you as soon as you stop.
I'm all done.
So you can find my science podcast. It's called All Around Science. My co-host and I, Maura, talk about science every week. And it's what did we talk about last week? We're always talking about tiny robots, but there were tiny robots that were made again, and so we like to talk about those. But also we talked about the big feature was I talked about large scale farms and how they compare in carbon footprint to small scale farms, and the answer might surprise you.
Whoa,
good deal.
Yeah. Small scale farms, remembers. All right, that's excellent. I can't wait for those episodes, and always having you on is a pleasure. Bobby, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you, Bobby.
He says thank you like he's at a coffee shop. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You spelled my name on my latte, on my half-calf double hot extra foam latte.
Thanks so much for that.
You know what he didn't mention, by the way, and this needs to be mentioned, is one of the other things that you sign up for or can sign up for TMS Vegas is the board game deal. We've got 6 hours this time. And if you've got a game that you want to bring and you want to host, there's a list for that. If you want to be part of somebody else's game, you want to make sure that, hey, when you play this game, make sure you come find me because I want to play it. There's a place for that. There's a list for that. So make sure you go to either vivatmsvegas.com or go to the Discord, the TMS Vegas schedule, and sign up.
Nice. You can find links to all that at frogpants.com/TMS. So get in there.
Yes.
Quick phone call from a listener. This is about the Come and Go acquisition from the Maverick people. And
the Maverick.
Here's what he says.
Hey guys, Zinger from Wisconsin here. I actually lived in Iowa for about 5 years, and we had a Come and Go in the neighborhood, and I kid you not, it was one of the best and nicest gas stations, convenience stores, whatever's around. Rivals even the legendary Casey's gas stations, convenience stores in Iowa. Come and Go does sell T-shirts. My wife has one. It says "Come and Go, we go all out." I'm going to be sad to see the brand go. It definitely was a highlight of every trip we took through Iowa and then the neighboring states. Anyways, love the show though. Have a great day.
Yeah, sorry, Maverick is taking it over, or Maverick. That's what we call it.
Maverick. That's right. That's how we're doing it.
Yeah, Maverick is going to take it and change it, and you're screwed. It's just Maverick now. But
Exactly.
they're very nice. Yep. They'll keep the niceness. Like Mavericks are nice. Yeah. They're really good places to stop.
Exactly.
It's not a dump at all. But no more Come and Go. All right.
Exactly.
Keep those shirts. It'd be worth something.
But at least you'll be able to be wingman anytime when you're in a Maverick.
Yep. And then what was the Munchin Lunch, or what was the one down in what was that called? The one in Texas?
No, what were we calling it?
There's a place that actually exists called.
Oh, right. The Munch and Go. Munch and Go.
Munch and Go. Is that it?
I think the Munch and Go.
It's not Munch and Punch. I like that though. That's funny. Anyway, thanks for the call. You guys can call us anytime, 801-471-0462. If you'd rather send a text, that same number works. And if you'd rather email us, that's themorningstream@gmail.com. However you want to contact us is fine. We're happy to read them, play them, and otherwise respond to them. That is going to do it for us. As mentioned before, if you want to find anything to do with the show, how to support us, where to find links, all this stuff, you can find it at frogpants.com/TMS. One of the things we like to do here is leave you with a little song in your heart. So, Brian, what do you got?
We do indeed. Oh my gosh, we got so many requests for the end of January. So some of these are probably going to bleed out into the beginning of February. But this one from I Am Sci-Fi, Ian Levenstein says, "Hey there, Banana and Split." Is that the one I'm doing? That is the one I'm doing today. I've reached a milestone as of January 28th, and I need a song to go with it. 40 years on this planet. Holy cow.
Whoa.
Time does fly. It also occurred to me that I've been listening to TMS since the start of my 30s. So I thank you, gentlemen, for all the squeeriness, fish sandwiches, and hibertums along the way. You really do make time fly while getting work done. To honor the equation, I'll take any cover you can supply of Green Day's Time of Your Life. Here's to 40 more at least. Love the adobo, Ian/I Am Sci-Fi.
Happy birthday.
You get the old lady.
Very good. And can I get a tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch, he says?
He can get that. It is easy to find, and here it is.
It's a tender crisp bacon cheddar ranch.
You're welcome. Happy birthday, dude. And one of our favorite community guys. He's awesome. Love that guy.
He totally is. Yep. Absolutely. And every show that he contributes to or pops into.
Yep.
All right, let's get to this. This is a cover that came from the BBC Radio 1 Live Lounge. Came out in 2019. It's by a band called Wolf Alice. I love these guys. And I really like the unique timbre of the lead singer's voice. I don't know her name. Maybe her name is Alice. I don't know. But go ask Alice and she'll tell you.
Sure.
This is a cover of the song called Good Riddance, Time of Your Life by Green Day, by the band Wolf Alice. Happy birthday, Ian.
Yep. And everyone else who might be celebrating. And if you're smart about things, you'll be here tomorrow for a whole new episode of TMS. We'll see you then.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Not even Twitch.
Not even Twitch.
Not even Twitch, except Twitch. We do our